weeks, we're going to look at the subject of building your short-term mission team. You would think that an agency like LinkUp would want everyone to participate in a short-term mission trip. And in one sense, that's true. But realistically, we realize that not everyone is prepared to serve as a short-term team member. Now, if that's the case, it doesn't mean that short-term missions is forever off the table. It just means that maybe right now isn't the best time. So for the next 3 weeks, we want to look at characteristics of a good short-term mission team member. We want to look at the emotional characteristics of a team member, the spiritual characteristics, and then finally the physical conditioning required in order to be a good short-term team member. So today, let's begin with the emotional qualities of a short-term mission team member. If you are unfamiliar with the reality and the nature of spiritual warfare, boy, you are about to get a crash course. Because the context in which you are preparing to minister is an area that has been under the control of Satan for centuries, if not forever. And if we think that he is going to sit idly by and let us take the gospel to people who have been blinded by his influence and who are without Christ, then boy, we've got another thing coming. In his letter to the Ephesians, the Apostle Paul broaches the subject of spiritual warfare in several places. In Ephesians 4, verse number 27, he says this. He says, "Do not give place to the devil." Now, as you well know, the devil can only work in the life of a believer as we give him right and ground. And the word that Paul uses here, especially as it's translated in the King James, the word that he uses for place, it literally means ground. And if we give the devil place, if we give him ground, or we could say if we give him just 1 acre of our life, if we give him 1 corner of our life, then he has the right to access his property through any means and through any part of your life. So the way to keep the devil out of your life is by giving him no ground to which he can have the right of way. As you know, it's against the law to landlock property. If you own 1 acre in the middle of a 100-acre field, the owners of the other 99 acres must legally give you access. And it's the same way spiritually. If the devil has a secret compartment, if he has place in our life, then he has the right to access your life at any time and any place that he wishes. One of the most common ways in which we see the devil interrupt short-term mission trips is by accessing team members who have emotional vulnerabilities. Now, please don't get me wrong. I am in no way advocating an emotionless variety of Christianity. Our emotions are a part of our God-given identity and nature. The Bible says that we are to worship the Lord with all of our heart. That encompasses our emotions. But I will say this, emotions can be the point of access through which the devil interrupts not only our life, but certainly a short-term mission trip. So if you have just passed through something that's emotionally taxing, if you've just been through something traumatic, if you have suffered abuse, if you carry unresolved emotional baggage, then this is ground for the devil. And I'm not saying that you can never participate in short-term missions, but I am saying that for your personal health and for the success of the mission of the team, it may be best, if you're struggling with some of those, to deal with those issues before engaging the darkness in a spiritually charged context where spiritual warfare is a reality. I've seen mission teams arrive in Brazil, and someone be under emotional stress. And the devil knows what your triggers are. He knows where your buttons are, and he knows how to push them. And you may see something that brings all of that unresolved emotion back. And it may cause you to have a meltdown emotionally on the field. Now when that happens, the energy and the focus of your entire team turns inward. I've seen the mission of entire teams be thwarted because one person had an emotional breakdown on the field. You see, the devil knows that he doesn't have to interrupt the mission of the entire team. He only has to access one weak link. And if he can take down one team member, he takes out the entire team. Our mission is far too important. The cost of airline tickets are far too high to jeopardize your mission trip. Hey, your emotional health is far too valuable to do this without having thought through some of these issues. Do you know that career missionaries spend copious pre-appointment hours on a counselor's couch unpacking emotional baggage so that when they get to the field, this is not a point of entry or a point of access for the devil? We must be emotionally healthy if we're going to successfully engage darkness and encounter spiritual warfare on the front lines of global missions. So this week, I want you to be honest with yourself. Team members, in your group forum this week, I want you to be honest with one another. Because sometimes team members can see vulnerabilities in other people's lives that we ourselves can't see. Be honest with one another. You had rather be open and honest in the safe confines of home and in a team preparation meeting than you had become vulnerable in a hostile spiritual environment on the other side of the world. I want you to study tonight Psalm 139 verses 23 and 24. I want you to make these verses your theme verses as you prepare to minister to the quilombolas in the jungles of Brazil. And I look forward to seeing you on the field, and I look forward to seeing you accomplish your mission victoriously and push back darkness with the wonderful light of the gospel of Jesus Christ. Until next week, I'm Richie Allen.